Hello ladies and gentlemen, Willie here. Throwback to a video that I did in July 2020, which was titled, "Given the opportunity, players will optimize the fun out of a game." This is a quote from Soren Johnson. I'd like to follow that up with another quote which I used in that video. It's a developer's responsibility to protect the player from themselves. This one's from Sid Meier. And that video back then was a look back at how people had changed Classic from the experience that we would have gotten back in the day, not solely based upon us having more information, but people consuming media in different ways these days, especially when it comes to the gaming industry, where in general they're approached far more competitively and from a more performance-oriented manner. The speed people eat up content that could take a developer months or years to plan and put through is absolutely obscene. Being a game dev must be such a difficult job. As soon as a Soulsborne game exists, it's free real estate for a new speedrun category. People even tried to make ranked Among Us a thing back when that was during its height. Nano recently did a video about how Blizzard had failed Classic, which I really enjoyed. It offered some great insight from a person who is a leading force on driving Classic WoW to actually exist. So I wanted to piggyback off that a little bit and look forwards to the expansion to come, the Burning Crusade. It's still early days in the beta, I accept that, but things are already being discovered that will absolutely become part and parcel of our new TBC experience post-launch. I can absolutely 100% guarantee that. One of the things that I've had on the radar for a while has been that the AoE cap hasn't stopped mages from being able to farm far more efficiently than any other class. The main example of this from TBC that is popular at the moment is the AoE grinding in the Slave Pens instance, which is available from a very early level after you've gone through the Dark Portal. Now, I have a level 60 mage, their gear is beyond bad. I pretty much just got them to level cap, so they are in classic era greens from questing, which as we all know aren't ideal. But I logged into them, I took a few AoE talents and headed over to the Coilfang Reservoir, and it did take me a few tries to manage to get in there. I did need to trade over a Flask of the Titans and use an invisibility pot, but well, once I managed to get in the actual position, see for yourself, this must be one of the easiest pathing abuses I have ever seen in the game. At least mages pulling the entirety of Maridon requires a good bit of setup, and if you do make a mistake and die, you're going to lose a lot of time. But with this is so easy. And you're supposed to pull a lobsters at the start of the instance as well. I just wanted to do this as an example. If I can get here on a level 60 with about 2000 health and classic questing gear, imagine what a geared mage, somebody who's spent the last 18 months boosting, will be able to pull off with this. You would even be able to do this on a warlock or a shadow priest too, provided you can get here consistently. Maybe with some target dummies and viz pots and nades, it should be possible, even without a clear up to this point. And I've seen claims at the moment this is well in advance of 350,000 XP per hour. And I've got a feeling that this kind of thing will be the tip of the iceberg when it comes to new innovations in the expansion. Now, as we looked at in a previous video, there are examples of people doing this from back in the day. We've already taken that and evolved it to something which is wildly more efficient in such a short space of time. And as we progress on and on into TBC and the beta unlocks new things, more gear, higher level caps and so on, people are going to start to find more and more new stuff which is exploitable. We didn't go into Classic knowing you could pull literally the entirety of Maridon, for example. And this isn't meant to be just about boosting here, it's just the most prevalent example that we have on the radar at the moment. But general exploits that players exposed which aren't addressed at all. Or it's just the logic on pathing or exploits in general from Blizzard so far. For example, annoying people with polymorph in Booty Bay where guards can't get to you isn't okay. Jumping between a legend and ornament in Mara causing near 500 mobs to path back and forth is okay. Being annoying where guards can't get you, not okay. Causing half a thousand NPCs to path back and forth is okay. I would say both of these things affect the player base, just in different ways, and one of them is less visible than the other. Here is a little excerpt from John Stats, the WoW Diary, a journal of a computer game development. This is a quote from October 2002, and this was a piece John put together during the development of actual vanilla. I think it's a very enlightening read. The pathing code looked as though it might need to be rewritten again from scratch, as Scott Harton wasn't happy with monster navigation. Suboptimal AI pathing would allow cheeses, exploits in dungeons. If players could find a way to attack monsters without taking damage, they could repeat it for free loot and experience. This could harm the integrity of the economy and turn character leveling into a series of repetitious exploits. Well, that has turned out to be very true indeed, John. Let's see what else we can find here. Since MMO content is measured in months, not hours, the content is paradoxically daunting. So any shortcut to the top will become the most popular route, even if it isn't fun. And if a game's path of least resistance isn't fun, it means the game isn't fun. Lazy or inexperienced game developers blame the players for ruining a game with apparent behavior, but these accusations are like a dog owner blaming their pets for eating unhealthy scraps. Well, it looks like the pathing code never made it back to the top of the priority list, not just for Classic, but moving through onto the expansion. Hold on though, is there such a thing as a good or a healthy exploit for a game? Well, Soren Johnson has a few more words on that. However, designers can go too far by trying to remove all exploits from a game. Often, the right choice depends upon the game's context. Does the exploit drown out all other playstyles, or is it a fun, alternative way to play? Does the degenerate strategy create an endless grind, or is it a quick shortcut for players who need a little help? You can take a guess at which one I think boosting would go into there. I could see the opposite argument, sure, but not for the long term. Again, this isn't just specifically about boosting, but it's the most clear example of what to expect when going forwards, given the knowledge we have at the moment. Inaction on these things is taking away from the authenticity of the game. Boosting was never this prevalent back in the day. Back then we had Hobbs being an absolute legend with his Skullflame shield, taking a few guys through SMCAF, not these industrialized mage farms in any exploitable place they can find. You don't even have to remove mage's ability to do this or completely rewrite the code. Just stop other people from benefiting from it. Reduce XP when grouped with high level players. Lower instance XP and increase quest XP perhaps. Yes, this would mess up dungeon grinding at launch, but I'll take that over another 18 months of this. At least you can say it's just a personal gold grind then, or a personal XP farm to level cap, which has a more realistic endpoint than you selling boosts forever and ever. And do you know what I've heard people say? Well, clearly the game is all about the endgame, whilst linking their 100 days played this level and 107 days played overall. Well, isn't that just proving the point that after having achieved level cap, you're willing to put in over 20 times more at endgame? 100 days played at cap, but those couple days needed to reach there, that's just too much to ask. And this may be going off topic a bit, but you know when you hear people saying if they banned gold buyers, they would be banning half the player base? I mean, let's say, for example, you own a shop. People come in each day, your shop is really popular, it's great, but you keep seeing regulars there shoplifting on the CCTV and you keep reporting them to the police, but they don't do anything. Then again, if they did all get a night in a cell, they might not come back to the shop again, so I guess it's better to have a busy shop than punish people for doing things that are against the rules. Assuming you report them at all, that is, except in Blizzard's case, they more or less only make money from their inaction against gold buyers. Also, another random thought to bring up for the video is why on earth have you not changed how pickpocketing works in Blackrock Depths? I can literally find 50 ungilded human rogues doing a /2 on Sunday afternoon at the moment. This has been going on for months and months and months, and they are printing raw gold. No one in Phase 6 is still doing runs through here to get gold anymore. It's been surpassed as a legitimate gold maker. Their pockets are respawning every half an hour, and this has been farmed day in, day out by thousands and thousands of bots. It's very easy to see. This will carry on in TBC. Maybe they'll even find somewhere more profitable to do this. Anyways, the point is we're in the beta. It's relatively early days. Players are waving big old red exploit flags in your face. This isn't a game changes thing, this is a game integrity thing, and this goes beyond just boosts as well. Players show so much footage these days on streams, videos, comments on forums, Reddits, and so on. There are plenty of things that are already known in TBC. Rogues and druids will be crazy in arena, warlocks and hunters will blast DPS meters and raids, but the unknown, the player findings, things that should very well count as exploits, need to be addressed as and when they come popular. You change things in Classic that players either knew or found out about. The Roof of Booty Bay near the flight path for griefing, the endless elemental air farm from Landslide inside Mara, exit portals on BGs after people started MCing or fearing them out of them, trying to stop pre-mading in AV, stopping Warsong Gulch scouting, making interacting with certain mobs PvP tag you to stop griefing. The list goes on and on and on. I like this kind of action against degenerate gameplay to be a bit more actively tackled, and ideally preemptively during the beta period if possible. Again, if the game offers an environment where the best way to do something isn't a fun way to do something, it's not up to the players to not take advantage of that. It's up to the developers to recognize that and take action to amend those gameplay styles. So let me know what you think about all of this, not just regarding boosting, but how quickly exploits are dealt with in the game and how much action you would like to see Blizzard take against them as and when they appear. That's all though. As always, thank you so much for watching and listening in, and I'll see you all in the next one very soon.